Hey, how's it going? It's your muscle building coach Lee Hayward here with part 2 of the Bodybuilding Supplement Review Guide. Now, in this part, I'm actually going to be answering a lot of questions that my followers have sent me with regards to supplements, choosing various brands of supplements, and also a lot of safety issues with regards to supplements. So I'm going to cover all that in great detail in this video.
And the first supplement on my list is protein powder. Now, protein is the key component for providing your body with adequate amino acids to aid in the building and repairing of muscle tissue. Now, protein is one of the most important nutrients for bodybuilders. You should be consuming between 1 and 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight each day and have this spaced out evenly over the course of 5 to 6 meals. So for an example, a 200-pound man should eat between 2 and 300 grams of protein per day, and again, have this spaced out over the course of 5 to 6 meals of approximately 40 to 50 grams of protein per meal. Now, while it's possible to get this much protein from food alone, it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper to make up a portion of your protein intake with protein supplements. To show you the cost savings of protein powder, just look at this example. A typical 5-pound container of whey protein costs between $40 to $50 depending on the brand and where you're buying it from. Now there's approximately 80 scoops of protein in a container. Each of these scoops contains somewhere around 20 grams of protein. So in general, you're getting about 1,600 grams of protein in a 5-pound container. And to get the same amount of protein from beef, fish, or chicken, you'd have to buy 20 pounds. Now to put this in perspective, at say like $5 a pound, this works out to be over $100 to get the same amount of protein as you could get from protein supplements for less than half that price. So now you're probably wondering, what's the best brand of protein supplements? Well, contrary to all the advertising and marketing hype, one brand of protein powder is really no better than another brand. Arguing over which brand of protein powder is better is like arguing over which butcher has the best beef. For the most part, beef is beef, and the protein quality is going to be the same if you buy your meat at one store versus if you buy your meat at another store. And the same applies with your protein powders. In fact, there are only a few major manufacturers of supplements, and all the individual companies will buy up their raw materials from these manufacturers and get them privately labeled. Now, they may add in some colors or flavors to help differentiate them from the competition, but the basic protein powder is the same. So very often, despite whatever the marketing advertisements say, the protein that's in brand X is the exact same protein that's in brand Y. Like say, it may taste a little different or have some different additives, but the actual raw protein powder itself is the exact same and will have the same muscle building benefits. There are a lot of different kinds of protein powders that you can get. Whey protein, milk protein, egg, soy, vegetable, casein, isolates, concentrates, and the list just goes on and on. Now, I personally use and recommend a good whey protein. And this is the best for high quality bioavailable protein powder, and it's also the best value for your money. There are a lot of manufacturers for whey protein right now, so it's one of the most affordable protein supplements that you can get. Another huge plus is that with most whey protein powders, they tend to mix very well and they also taste good, so they make consuming your protein drinks very enjoyable as well. So you're probably wondering, when is the best time to have a protein shake? Well, you could substitute a protein shake anytime you can't consume a high protein food meal. It's a lot better to have a protein shake than it is to miss a meal. But besides meal replacements, there are two critical times when it's ideal to consume a protein shake. And that is first thing in the morning when you wake up, and right after your weight training workouts. At these times, your body is depleted, and consuming a fast digesting source of protein, such as a protein shake, can really help to keep your body in an anabolic state, and this will aid with muscle growth. Now, no discussion about protein would be complete without covering the myth that protein is bad for your kidneys. There has never been a single study done that has shown consuming a high protein diet has caused any form of kidney damage. None whatsoever. This myth has gotten started because people with pre-existing kidney problems usually have to be put on a low protein diet to help deal with this problem. So then people wrongfully assume that the protein caused the kidney problems to begin with. But it's just not the case. High protein diets are very safe for people who are in good health, plus they provide numerous health benefits within themselves. from muscle building benefits to enhancing the immune system, helping to control your blood sugar levels, and the list just goes on. So the bottom line, protein is very safe and healthy to consume. In fact, it's one of the vital nutrients that we simply can't live without. There's another safety issue with regards to protein powders that I want to shed some light on, and that is the issue of heavy metals. In fact, there was an investigation on protein supplements published in the July edition of the Consumer Reports magazine that has really caused an upstir in the bodybuilding world. It's caused a lot of fitness enthusiasts to wonder whether they should stop drinking protein shakes altogether, because the magazine said that they found heavy metals in protein powders, and 3 of the 15 powders they tested were over the proposed safe limits when you add up multiple servings of protein per day. And to quote the Consumer Reports magazine, they said, "We purchased 15 protein powders and drinks mainly in the New York metro area or online, and tested multiple samples of each for arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury." Now when you first hear that, that actually sounds fairly scary. But the magazine continued on and said that concentrations of heavy metals in most of the products were relatively low. And where they're getting the exceeding the safety limits is by adding up multiple servings of protein per day. And to quote the magazine, they said concentrations in most products were relatively low, but when taking in consideration the large serving sizes suggested, the number of micrograms per day for a few of the products was high compared to most others tested. So if you're consuming protein shakes right now on a regular basis, should you be worried? Should you stop drinking them? I'll admit that this is very alarming news when you first hear about it, but if you actually read between the lines, it's not that bad. Because first of all, it shows that the majority of the products out there are safe to consume. 12 out of 15 of the protein powders that were tested showed up within the safe limits, even at extremely high doses. And for the few products that did get flagged as being high in heavy metals when consumed in multiple servings per day, yes, it's some bad publicity for those companies. But due to all this, I would assume that these companies are just going to tighten up on their quality control, and perhaps the whole supplement industry in general will start really putting more emphasis on their products and their quality and more into testing and help to raise the standards of the supplement quality all over. So in a way, doing things like this is actually really good for the industry as a whole, and it forces them to produce quality products for us as the end consumer. So the bottom line here, I wouldn't be overly concerned about this whole thing, especially if you're consuming 2 to 3 protein shakes per day. Now, one thing that the Consumer Reports article didn't really clarify is that there are trace amounts of heavy metals found in virtually everything that we consume. From the food we eat, and even quote-unquote natural food like fruits and vegetables and meats and water and everything else, there are still trace amounts of heavy metals found. So I know they kind of zeroed in and just focused on protein powder, but again, the heavy metals in small amounts are found in virtually all the foods that we consume. And again, even the Consumer Reports article has shown that the majority of protein powders are safe to consume even within high doses. So this isn't really any cause for concern for typical supplement users who are using protein to help supplement their diets.
Okay, so as you could tell, this video was primarily focused about protein powders and the manufacturing and the safety issues that go on behind the scenes. But the stuff that I covered here with regards to protein actually applies to a lot of the supplements that are available. So like I say, I really went overkill here because I want to cover a lot of information. But in my future videos, I'm going to go into actual more detail about different supplements and how to actually stack them to get a good overall bodybuilding supplement routine. So again, be sure to subscribe to my video channel so you get early notification of when I put up my next supplement review guide video. Take care.